guys,
Welcome to the Total Coffee. All right, guys, it's so nice to be seeing you guys here again, and it's so wonderful to have Anish back again. My name is Suhas. This is Anish, and we are going to do a series about.
how to start a coffee roasting business.
Awesome. So that's what we are going to talk about. This is going to be a 10-part, 20-part series. I don't know yet, but let's see. Yes, it depends on how much we talk. So we are going to talk about how to start a roasted coffee business.
Yes.
Right? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So having said that, what is the first thing that we should talk about?
So first thing is that what I have heard is there are two types of coffees. One is commercial and one is specialty.
Of course.
So many people have different definitions of specialty. So I would like to hear it from you. Like, what is exactly the difference between specialty coffee and commercial coffee?
All right, two main things, right? There are two things that exist: specialty coffee and commercial coffee. Specialty coffee, I'll get straight to it. A textbook definition of specialty coffee: any coffee that has 0 category 1 defects and less than 5 category 2 defects, and scores a score of above 80 points on the Global Specialty Coffee Association cupping form, can be considered a specialty coffee. I know that was a mouthful and then that's too much to consume in like one sentence. I totally understand that, but all you have to know is that there exists a grading system which is accepted globally for the definition of what specialty coffee is, right? The coffee needs to be scoring a score of above 80 points. This is a sensory score. There is a cupping, elaborate cupping method that is followed globally. We'll do that in another episode sometime in the future. So coffee is basically that score above 80 can be considered a specialty coffee. Anything that doesn't score 80 and anything that doesn't qualify for a specialty coffee can be considered commercial coffee.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So there is premium commercial coffee, there is low grade commercial coffee, etc.
Okay.
We'll not get into so much of details, but this is basically what the difference is between a specialty coffee and a commercial coffee. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So knowing that as a coffee enthusiast, I would always go for specialty coffee. Like I love tasting different types of coffees and analyzing them. But if I want to start a coffee roasting business, on what basis should I decide? Should I roast specialty coffee or commercial coffee?
Yeah, so that's pretty straightforward, right? So there are two kinds that you can get into. One is a specialty coffee business and the other one is a commercial coffee business. So I'll break it down into 4 simple points.
Okay.
I don't want to complicate it for you guys. So you guys can decide after this where your heart lies and you can get into that, right? So number 1, specialty coffee is for the connoisseurs, is for the people who hold their pinky out like that and drink their coffees. No, I'm just kidding. But
and also slurp.
And also slurp, yeah. So that's people who want to cater to that kind of people need to get into specialty coffee. But I'm just kidding. But specialty coffee is for people who are connoisseurs, who enjoy the different nuances that are there in the coffee, who can differentiate between different kinds of acidity, they can recognize different flavors, similar to wine, similar to scotch, whiskey, bourbon, etc. So that's specialty coffee.
Okay.
Commercial coffee is more of a pocket-friendly coffee, who basically drink it for the caffeine kick that coffee gives. They're not really particular about what flavors you get out of it, what is acid, how is the acidity, and what is the story behind the coffee, etc. So that's commercial coffee, right?
Okay.
So this is one of the primary differences.
Okay.
Number 2, specialty coffee is a niche market. Like wine, like whiskey, etc. The largest consumed wine is commercial wines, $2, $3 supermarket wines. We all know this. Globally, this is the case. However, the specialty wines are a niche product. The same thing is with coffee as well.
Okay.
So specialty coffee at the moment in India is for a niche market. There is a very tiny segment that understands differences, understands nuances. However, the commercial coffee is for a budget is for a mass budget market,
Okay.
right? It could be your petrol stations, it could be your supermarkets, it could be your stadiums, malls, it could be your hospitals, for example,
okay.
where people are not really picky on what sort of a coffee they get. They just want to be awake, they just want to be drinking coffee. So this is the second biggest difference. One is for the niche and another one is for the masses. Right, and the third one is usually when you're a specialty coffee company, there is no frills per se. When I say frills, in a commercial coffee company, you need to have equipment. If you're a commercial coffee company, you go cater to a restaurant or a coffee shop, you will be supplying equipment to them as well, like coffee machine on a rental basis, on a lease basis, or on a contractual basis, saying that, hey, if you use my coffee, I'm going to give you this machine for free. So that is something what happens in a commercial coffee game. In specialty, that almost never happens. You just supply excellent, brilliant quality coffee and help them create beverages, train their baristas, make sure the quality at their coffee shop is at its highest. This is what happens in a specialty coffee company, whereas in a commercial coffee company, you're more focused about how many cups of coffee can be brewed with 1 kg of coffee. How can you make a single shot of espresso with the least amount of coffee possible, etc. are the dynamics of a commercial coffee company and a specialty coffee company. So, and the fourth difference is in a specialty coffee game, in a specialty coffee, the margins are much higher. I would not just zero in on just saying margins are higher, but there is so much more to it, because in a specialty coffee company, the roaster spends more time selecting the coffee, spends more time roasting the coffee, spends more time removing the defects, spends more time with the customer to understand his requirement, training his staff, etc. Those margins are justified in a specialty coffee because he's delivering that kind of a quality. But whereas in commercial coffee, the margins are much lower, because it's like, hey, here you go, this is your coffee, goodbye. See you next time you want you have a requirement. So that's commercial coffee for you.
Time is money.
Time is money. Yeah, exactly. So commercial coffee is mostly a volume game. You look at selling 100, 200, 500,000 kgs and make a smaller margin. But in specialty coffee, you don't do that. You work in relationship with your planter, you work in relationship with your roaster, and then further your restaurants and coffee shops, or even your end consumers. So this is primarily are the four major differences between specialty and commercial coffee. In India, specialty is a very small segment at the moment. But however, countries like Australia, specialty has already become a mass market product because everyone recognizes good coffee. There is a saying in our coffee industry that Australia does not have bad coffee. I don't know how true that is. I've not visited Australia yet. I soon want to, but that's what I've heard. So I guess this pretty much answers the questions of specialty and commercial.
Suhas, what do you think, at what rate is the specialty market growing in India?
I would say, there is no exact numbers, there is no research that gives us how big the specialty market is, because in the country at the moment, the definition of specialty itself is so clouded and so grey, so it becomes quite difficult to know that. But I would assume the number is anywhere between 150 to 200% growth year on year for specialty. Is what I am guessing. So if there was ever a time in India's history to get into a specialty coffee business, now is the time. It's now, absolutely. Now is the right time to get into it, because it's on its upward growth, and whoever wants to ride that wave, now is the perfect time for it.
So you're suggesting I should start a coffee roasting?
Absolutely. It's super easy. It's super easy to start a coffee company. That's the reason behind starting Total Coffee, right? Helping farmers directly reach out to the end buyers, and then also help people start coffee companies very easily. So absolutely, if you were to start a coffee company, now is the right time to do so. So how do you think we should take this further? How do you think?
I think what we said today is not the only thing to consider. There are many things to consider. So I think let's keep it sweet and short. We'll have more episodes on this topic of how to start a coffee roasting business.
We'll do that.
Yeah, so
So awesome. So guys, we saw today what is the difference between specialty and commercial coffee. So having heard us today, I think you will make a very informed decision of getting into specialty coffee on whichever coffee kind that you want to, either specialty or commercial. So thank you guys for watching us. Again, I'm going to do this. I did this last time. I was so happy to do this. Please subscribe, like and share, and do click on the bell icon.
yes,
Right?
and stay tuned for the next episodes.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anish. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers
Cheers.
then.